I love retirement. I'm not talking about the kind of retirement where you have to live on a fixed income and can't afford anything fun anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with living on a fixed income. I'm talking about retiring early, in your 40s, so that you can spend your days doing what you actually want instead of just working for someone else. If this sounds appealing to you, then keep watching. Welcome to SME Hype, where I'm talking about gaining financial freedom, making money online, and growing your business. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? And remember, it's free. Here are some tips for how to save up enough money for early retirement. Tip number 1. Know your why. Knowing your why is the most important step in your journey to early retirement. This could be something as simple as wanting more free time, or it could be a deeper reason like wanting to travel more. Whatever your why is, make sure that you are clear on it and that it's something that motivates you every day. Knowing how much money you will need for retirement can also help with motivation by giving scope and structure to your goals. Once again, this is different for everyone, but knowing what kinds of things are possible when compared against other financial priorities can get the wheels turning in terms of what kind of lifestyle and spending habits might work best for achieving financial freedom sooner rather than later. Once you have your why, start thinking about how to turn it into reality. It might be as simple as creating a budget for yourself or spending less on certain things. Knowing what you want to accomplish is the first step in creating a plan to achieve your financial goals. So take some time today to think about what you would like to do with your free time, how you want to spend it, and what you might do once retirement comes around. There are no wrong answers. Just make sure that whatever comes out of this process is something that really excites you. 2. Start with the easy stuff first. One of the best ways to get started saving for retirement is by starting small. If you want to save $100,000 for retirement, don't try and do it overnight. Instead, start with something as simple as saving $25 a week or less until you've reached your goal. When you make large changes in your life, it's easy to be overwhelmed and give up before getting started, or worse yet, forget about your goals entirely. Instead of attempting an enormous transformation all at once and failing, start small so that even if things go wrong along the way, they won't be disastrously wrong. If this sounds too good to be true, if there isn't some hidden caveat or fine print, there isn't one. You can start small. If you start with the easy stuff first, it's much more likely you'll keep going until eventually reach your larger goals. And if you don't have any idea where to start, this is a good place. In some of my previous videos, I have already talked about more specific tips on how to begin saving money and investing it wisely. The key to saving money is starting with something ridiculously easy, like putting $5 in a jar every time you buy coffee. If you have no idea what kind of saver you are or where to start, this is a good place. If you want more specific tips on how to begin saving money and investing it wisely, click on the card above. 3. Start with a good plan. In order to save as much money as possible, you need to create a plan and stick with it. To do this, you need to create a budget and track your spending. This will help you find areas where you can cut back on expenses so that you can use the extra money for retirement savings. The next step is to start with the easy stuff first, such as shopping around for better deals on big purchases like car insurance or home insurance, or refinance your mortgage if possible. You can also reduce some of your regular expenses, such as cutting back on travel or entertainment costs, by going out less and bringing friends over instead of heading out for dinner every night. You may even want to consider downsizing into an apartment or condo from a house, so that there's no maintenance required on your part, and that allows you more financial freedom in retirement. The most important thing to remember is that saving money isn't something you can just do once and then forget about it. It's an ongoing process that requires commitment and dedication. A good way to start is by making sure you have an emergency fund saved up. Many people put off this step because they think it's too hard, but there are plenty of ways to get started. For example, you can use a portion of each paycheck toward your savings account until you have 1 month's worth income saved up. Then use that money as your emergency fund and set aside any extra funds for retirement contributions or other goals like paying down debt. 4. Wait before making big purchases. You can save a lot of money by waiting before making big purchases. Let's say you've been eyeing an expensive pair of shoes for months, but haven't been able to afford them. You're tempted to buy now because they're on sale, but if you wait until next month or even the following week when your paycheck comes in, your savings will allow you to buy them with ease. More importantly, waiting will help you not to buy impulsively. By waiting, you can save money on the things you want and need most. If there's something you've been wanting to buy but can't afford it just yet, wait a week or two, even if it means missing out on an amazing deal now, because chances are good that another opportunity will come up soon enough. This is especially true for credit cards as well. Some companies will offer promotional rates on certain items purchased during certain periods. If you do have a credit card, or even if not, there are often ways around paying full price right away for something that costs more than what's in your bank account. For example, let's say I'm looking into buying new furniture for my apartment, but I don't have enough cash on hand yet or any other form of payment. There are options like buy now, pay later, where I can make an installment payment. SquareUp is another option where I can pay over time using my debit card instead. This would allow me access now without giving up any interest payments later down the road. Tip number 5. Save $500 more a month this year. If you're trying to save money and retire early, one of the biggest questions that people have is, how can I save more money? Well, there's a simple answer to this question. You need to first figure out how much you can currently save each month. Then commit yourself to save $500 more than that each month going forward. It sounds simple enough when put like that, doesn't it? But in reality, it can be tough, especially if your income is not enough to cover your bills. In reality, this depends on where you are in your financial journey. In a nutshell, try as much as possible to save extra, and if you have not already started saving for retirement, now is the best time to get started. We have done a video on simple tricks to save money fast. You can check it out on the card at the top now. It will also be in the description section. Hopefully, that will give you some ideas on how to save money. 6. Shop around for big purchases. If you have a big purchase to make, don't just go by the sticker price. You can pay less for almost anything if you shop around. Asking for discounts is another way to save money on large purchases like cars and appliances. Even if there isn't an advertised sale going on, most stores will offer a discount if you ask them about it in person. It's also worth looking into renting items instead of buying them outright. This could be especially useful when it comes to purchasing expensive tech gadgets or even cars. Another way to save money when buying large items is by considering used versions of the said item instead of new ones. Consider something like buying used furniture from Craigslist or eBay. Chances are good that the previous owner has taken excellent care of their possessions, and they'll work just as well as new ones would without costing as much. Consider refurbished versions too. These may not be brand new, but they'll be close enough that they're worth considering if saving some cash matters more than having absolutely everything sparkly new all day long. Also, keep in mind that every dollar saved is one less you have to earn. The more money you're able to put away, the sooner you'll be able to retire. 7. Stop buying coffee out. How much do you spend on coffee every month? A lot more than you think. If you buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, it costs around $3.50. If you buy a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, it costs around $2, and that's just for the basic drink. For all their added value, they still cost little over twice as much as what many people would pay in their own homes. To make themselves a cup of coffee with milk and sugar, probably less than $1. Yes, some people love the taste of fancy coffee from places like these. However, if you're looking to save money and retire early, then it's time to stop spending so much money on this delicious beverage. The cost of coffee is more than the cost of making it at home. As previously mentioned, a cup of coffee can cost upwards of $3.50. However, that does not include any added sugar or creamer, which are often included in the price. This makes each drink even more expensive and adds up over time. If you cut back on those expenses now, then you'll have more money later when it really matters. The average person drinks 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day. That comes out to about $7 or more just on the coffee itself. If you stop buying it and make your own, then it will only cost around $1.50 to $2 for a whole pot of coffee plus milk and sugar, which also costs less than store-bought products. This means that you're saving at least $5 every day, which adds up over time. 8. Cut down on vacations and entertainment expenses. You can still go on some vacations, but it's just that you have to cut back on the expensive ones. There are plenty of ways to enjoy your free time without having to spend money. Stay home more. If you're the kind of person who likes staying inside, then consider making your vacation home-based instead. A lot of people don't realize how much they could save by not going away at all or even just doing a road trip instead. You could also go camping in your backyard or take a trip around town by visiting local amusement parks, hiking spots, and bike paths. But if you are someone who wants to get out and see the world, then you might want to consider going on a road trip instead of flying somewhere. This will let you see all of your favorite places without having to pay for hotels or meals. Look for free activities. If you love going to concerts but don't want to spend the money on tickets, then look for free local shows. You could also go to a museum and pay just once per month instead of paying each time you visit. This will save some cash, or maybe consider taking classes that cost less than what you're currently paying. Reduce your entertainment expenses. You might be able to reduce your entertainment expenses by finding ways to cut back on them. For example, if you go out with friends every weekend, then think about what you're spending each time before making any decisions. If you want to save money on going out, then try setting a budget for yourself and sticking with it. Also, consider how much money goes into buying drinks when at bars or clubs. This can add up quickly. 9. Take advantage of the extra cash you receive to increase your savings rate. Use the cash you receive to increase your savings rate. This could include bonuses, commission checks, tax refunds, etc. If you have any extra money that's not needed for monthly expenses or debt payments, use it to invest in yourself or your business, even if it's just a few $100s at a time. You might not feel like investing is worth it when you're only contributing $50 per month, but with compound interest, that'll grow into thousands over time. If you've paid off all of your debts except for 1 or 2 things like mortgages or student loans, then consider paying those off as soon as possible, since they usually carry higher interest rates than other forms of debt do, so they'll cost more over time if left unpaid until retirement age. Plus, they take up valuable space in our budgets. It can be difficult to save money for retirement, but it's not impossible. The key is finding ways to save every month and using any extra cash you receive for things like bonuses or commission checks as an opportunity to increase your savings rate. If you're able to do this consistently over time, then eventually you'll reach a point where the money will start growing on its own, thanks to compound interest. Final thoughts. Early retirement is achievable if you know how to save money effectively. The best way to save money is to start early. Many people begin their careers with a mindset of saving, but then abandon the practice as they get older and more comfortable with their lifestyle. The problem is that by the time these people realize how much money they could have saved had they continued, it's often too late for anything but drastic measures like selling their house. If you wait until later in life to start saving for retirement, odds are good that you will never reach your goals. That's because time is not on your side when it comes to saving money. The longer you can put off spending it, or even better yet earning interest from those savings, the more money there will be available when retirement comes around. Early retirement is an attainable goal if you know how to save money effectively. The biggest barrier is often saving enough to live off your savings until you reach Social Security age, 67 years old. At this point, many people think they have no choice but to work full-time or find another source of income, such as a part-time job. You don't have to wait until you're in your 60s or 70s to retire. You can retire early if you're willing to put in the work and make some sacrifices along the way. The best thing about saving money is that it helps you achieve your goals faster than any other strategy out there. You may not be able to retire tomorrow if your goal is retirement at 40, but if you start today, it'll happen sooner than expected. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Like and share to other people who might be interested in this topic. Until next time, I am Lucia. Stay creative.
It's a